Welcome to another Pneuma of Now podcast. This is your bonus session for the week of April 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever week we're in, April 2023. Just want to welcome everybody here. I am getting back into the grind of things, or into the motion and routine of things. Sometimes life throws you a little curveball, and then we have to get back on track. Something I tell people is really we're not defined by our failures so much as we are defined by how we get back up. And, you've probably all heard that before, but there's kind of an interesting way of looking at that. Just wanted to point that out. But here we got today for you, what we have here. I'm just going to do my best at reading a document from my friend, Kelvin C. Abraham. So this is going to be a tetronics themed discussion. Today's topic is basically the geometry of electricity. Okay, so if you've seen my channel or if you're new to my channel, either way, what you're going to want to do is check out my interview with Kelvin C. Abraham. I think there's one. There might be two. I can't remember at this point, but I've got more coming. So the month of April is really where we're going to start ramping up the physics discussions. We're going to really give people something to think about. We are definitely 100% going to introduce some cognitive dissonance because what we have here is different. You can immediately dismiss this information all you want. I'm going to be really perfectly honest with you. Anybody that wants to come up against what we're trying to explain here is welcome to do so. But you're going to need to do so with some brain power, and you're going to have to actually defend the ideas that we are presenting. If you see a flaw, basically what we're going to do here is the Philosopher's Agreement, starting right now. Okay, I probably should have had the Philosopher's Agreement ready to go, but I've read that elsewhere. And you can go look up the Philosopher's Agreement on YouTube, because that's what we need to do as a culture, as a civilization. If you spot a flaw in any model, system, or anything, it is your responsibility as a thinking person to identify the flaw, and then it is your responsibility to provide solutions, or how you understand the flaw, what your solutions are, so that we can actually begin a discussion, a discourse upon these very, very difficult topics. So what I'm presenting here is both very difficult and, at the same time, simultaneously simplistic. We're basically getting things back to a simplex, but in order to do that, we have to remove the complex. And because there's so much complex to remove, a lot of times people are not up for that challenge. So I'm here to help you with that. I'm here as a conduit of information. This is not my theory. This is not my model. But I sure the fuck wish it was. So Kelvin C. Abraham is just basically my mentor. More than any singular person on the planet regarding physics, science, mathematics, understanding what is actually going on, more than any other person on the face of the earth, Kelvin C. Abraham has worked with me, has taken me under his wing, so to speak, and I've taken that responsibility very seriously. Now, I have my own life, he has his own life, yet at the same time, we've got 10,000 plus, and at this point, it's probably closer to 20 or 30,000 people that are truly looking at the tetronic materials with a fresh perspective. If you immediately dismiss what I'm about to present, you, sir, you, ma'am, are at a disadvantage. And that's all I can do. All I can do is present the information with authentic focus and articulation, and that's what I'm here to do today. So there's not going to be any musical breaks. This is not a normal Pneuma of Now podcast. This is where we're going in 2023. So buckle your seatbelts, because where we're going, we don't need no roads. Okay? The geometry of electricity. Once in every generation, a change occurs. The 17th century saw the Industrial Revolution. The 18th century gave us the Electrical Revolution. The 19th century gave rise to the age of technology, and the 20th century brought the birth of a global consumer societies. For over a century now, science has advanced at a broken but ever quickening pace, striving to meet the ever growing needs of our society and the technologies that fuel its growth, all the time in search of some key piece of information that could unite the disparate disciplines into a unified whole, something that would provide a foundation to our understanding of the source of our laws of physics and the constants in nature. The question, what is electricity? Like the question, what is mass? Or what is matter? Is often claimed to lie outside the realm of physics, belonging instead to that of metaphysics. It is meaningless to the modern scientist. It is one of the fundamental components of our modern world and perhaps the most fundamental part of modern physics that we have yet to explain in any meaningful way. So what we have here is a force that originates in some way from an electric charge, a phenomena with which the physicists consider themselves reasonably familiar, if only mathematically. Its actual physics, however, remain clouded in a quantum shroud of mystery. The first hint at foundations of this element was Benjamin Franklin, whose insights were quickly followed by the practical foresightedness of Michael Faraday and the mathematical brilliance of James Clerk Maxwell, leading us headlong into our current electrical age of technology. On December 12th, 2012, our understanding of the physical sciences changed forever with the release of the geometric theory of charged mass energy matter. The theory tetraionics was introduced to the world for the first time after spending over 4 years just in wait, because Kelvin C. Abraham wanted to refine as much as he possibly could under the umbrella of knowledge he had received before he presented it to the world. In one bold stroke, our understanding of the universe forever changed, with the realization that at the smallest scale imaginable, the square numbers of our physics result from the equilateral quantum geometry of electromagnetic energy itself. A trinity where the electric field is bound by two poles of a magnetic dipole within an equilateral geometry and interacts with countless others just like it to form all the matter and forces in our universe. From the two charged equilateral fascia of the quantum energy coin comes the radiant light that fills our universe with color, ceaselessly moving, pausing only to create the matter that made our stars, created our planets, and gave us life. A single geometry that has lain before our very eyes as we searched for a measure of understanding in the sciences so we could tap the power that runs the universe and bend it to our will for our own purpose. Electricity has ushered in an age that has replaced the day laborer and his horse for a new, unseen source of untiring labor. Electricity, which toils for us day and night, meets our needs. Charge, represented by the symbol Q, is the basis of electricity. It's something that scientists and engineers have never been able to bring within the fold or within their field of comprehension, along with a formalized distinction between the physical properties of mass, lowercase m, and matter, capital case M. Okay? We need to make very clear we are differentiating between mass and matter, and we are also giving engineers and scientists a new understanding of charge so that they can bring this understanding into the fold and into the field of their comprehension. So let me read this sentence again. Charge, the basis of electricity, is something that scientists and engineers have never been able to bring within the field of comprehension, along with a formalized distinction between the physical properties of mass, lowercase, matter, capitalized, that determine the magnitude of the gravitational force, capital G. Electromagnetism, and magnetism in particular, is explained as being due to the motion of electric charges, but as long as the charge itself remains unexplained, the addition of movement did not represent much of an advance to the understanding of quantum source of electricity and the role it plays in building and powering our universe. The physicists have therefore taken force the phenomena that they believe they do understand and developed from it a model of physical reality that fails to provide a clear, coherent explanation for all its observed properties and the phenomena it in turn creates. Present-day physicists have no understanding of the nature of electric charge. We are simply told that we must not ask, that the existence of electric charges and the forces they create has to be accepted as one of the given features of nature, along with the physical constants. As Feynman observed, quote, mathematicians do not even need to know what they are talking about, unquote. The geometric interpretation of the mathematics is important primarily because it is one of the essentials for an understanding of the relationship between mathematics we invent and the physical phenomena that mathematics seeks to describe for us. Pay attention. While mathematics is the language of science, geometry is its grammar. One more time. While mathematics is the language of science, geometry is its grammar. To not pause every now and then, take stock of our theories, and subject them to a rigorous analysis invites us to wander down blind alleys and cul-de-sacs of experimentation when our resources and efforts could be better utilized elsewhere, thus bettering the human condition. Since the discovery of electric and magnetic forces and their unification with mathematics, we have strived to describe their effects and developed innumerable electrical technologies that have advanced the standard of living for many across the planet, as the electric genie took up the grindstone for us in our technological societies and brought us closer together than ever before. Imagine what could have been achieved had we consistent, realistic model of quantum forces at work that gave rise to the wonder that is electrical energy, and we could control it at that level. Only equilateral geometry can unite the duality of electric and magnetic forces that give rise to the known observables and the mathematics that seeks them so eloquently. An equilateral triangle. This new take on the role of an old and familiar geometry is now presented to the reader so as to reconcile the known observations with the mathematics of physics, in turn uniting the two and correcting the assumptions and errors that have crept in during the nascent development of the sciences and prejudiced our understanding of this force of nature to this very day. Within its regular geometry hides a trinity of forces, one electric and two magnetic, each acting in their own directions, but uniting to form a single geometry that can give substance to our dreams. This new quantum model of the universe gives us immediate access to clean, limitless energy as harmful stockpiles of radioactive matter are converted into radiant heat and light, replacing older carbon-fueled power plants and meeting the energy needs of growing countries, while at the same time reducing our carbon footprint on this planet dramatically. In time, as our knowledge of the atomic structure of elements is developed, we will even be able to convert excess energies back into elements and compounds of our own choosing, the final step in achieving science's original dream of the transmutation of elements. A step that is all too critical to our long-term survival as a technological species. The time of endless consumption of finite resources to meet our ever-growing needs is rapidly drawing to a close as our populations increase and our limited resources dwindle through non-sustainable consumption. We are desperately in need of a new scientific revolution, a technological solution that will allow the exponential growth of our current energy-dependent industrial civilization beyond that of the current resource base that we have inherited. A simple solution that can be put into place rapidly and further developed over time, even as it rewrites some of our oldest scientific, quote, truths and preconceptions, along with our mathematics, giving us answers to what is the foundation of our universe, and how does nature power the stars and form all the elements that make us? A doorway into the future has opened. It is up to us to dare peer through it and take our first steps into a new age of humanity for all, where our energy and resource needs can and will be met, where we can strive together for the betterment of all species on planet Earth. Kelvin C. Abraham, as read to you by the U.S. Ambassador of Tetronics, Richard Blankenship, the triple guru. Are you starting to understand now? Everything I do has a point, a purpose, and a profundity that is not obvious until you get into the fold of this channel. So I want to welcome you. A lot of new subscribers to the channel in the last couple of months here. So I just welcome you. Here's another little 20-minute session for everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. We've got a lot more coming. So thank you for listening to the Geometry of Electricity. We are on the move in 2023. We have no time left. We got to get this technology out to the public. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. But it does take a team effort. Teamwork is where we're at. If humanity is going to overcome the trials and tribulations of this age, you're going to have to learn how to work as a team. You're going to have that small ego death, and you're going to need to pay real close attention to what's in front of you. So with that, I leave you with one thought and one thought alone. Deep peace in the Pneuma of now.